Hello, this is George Pruitt, and today we're going to work on an EasyLanguage function that will help us prevent this type of situation from occurring. The top chart is a 10-minute ESH20 a 10-minute chart. The bottom chart is a daily ESH20 chart. This day here is the President's Day in February. I think it's 217. Yep, 217. As you can see, we've got data on a 5-minute basis. If you slide down to the daily bars, there's no daily bar there. What they've done is TradeStation has gone and eliminated this day in their daily bar database, but it's still inside. The data is still included in their 5-minute or intraday database. And what happens is if you're auto trading a system and it's a shortened session, as you can tell, this session is much shorter than this session, then what's going to happen is you're going to have trades occur on this shortened session. And you don't necessarily want that to happen. It's not a full day, so the volume is going to be extremely low. There's possibilities of slippage, issues, and you just don't want to do that. You want to skip those holiday dates. And an additional problem that occurs is this day opens up, and if you're basing all your indicators off the prior day's data, intraday data, then the signals and indicators that are being calculated based off of this data will carry over onto this bar. And then you're going to get possibly some errant trades because we're using this shortened data, low volume data. You don't want to do that either. So today we're going to create a function that will tell us if the bar is a holiday. And then you can use that to determine if you want to take the trade or not. So the first thing we need to do is we need to determine or build a database of holidays. And I found this on the internet. It's called market-holidays.com, and it gives you all the holidays from 2021 all the way back to 1990. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to extract this information and build it into an EasyLanguage function. Because TradeStation doesn't allow you to read data from a file, basically you have to input it into a chart to be able to access the data. I can't go that route. So I'm going to build I'm going to build two arrays in the function, and the first array will have the name of the holiday, and the second array will have the date of that holiday. So I want to get this information from this website into a TradeStation EasyLanguage module, a function. So you could go through here and copy and paste all this into Notepad++ and do some manipulation. But I thought it'd be really cool to play around with some Python. My latest book deals with Python and backtesting. So I wanted to take advantage of the Python knowledge that I've developed over the past few years and see if we could do this. So I'm going to show you how to do this in Python, but I'm not going to go into detail how I did it in Python. That'll be a subsequent video or tutorial, but I will give you a brief overview of it. Here's the code in Python that's going to go into that website and extract that information and output it into a format that's easily managed. So this is the entirety of the code. It's basically, 30 lines of code at most. And I use two libraries. I use the request library, basically pulls the information from a URL, and then I'm using Beautiful Soup. Now Beautiful Soup is just a bunch of objects and methods used to parse different types of code. In this case, we're going to be using the HTML parser. So basically, I set the URL to that website, market-holidays.com. I go ahead and request a page. We're going to do this very quickly. Like I said, I'm not going into too much detail because I'll do that later. Soup, I'm going to create an object using the Beautiful Soup library. I'm going to pass it the page text, and then I want to parse it with the HTML parser. Okay. This information here is all in tables. Each one of these sections is a table. So what I'm telling Python is to pull all the tables off that website and store all the tables into this variable. So then I come and I create 3 lists: A list, B list, and C list. I don't use C list, but I had it there just in case I needed it. Okay, so I'm going to loop through each table. Each table has its own rows. So I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 holidays per table, or 9 rows. And then in each row, there's going to be 2 columns. I'm going to use the A list. I'm going to append the first column, which is the name of the holiday. And then I'm going to use the B list to append the date of the holiday. And then I'm just going to dump all that into the Python interpreter. Let's see if this runs. Okay, I ran it, and here's the output. It's got New Year's Day, January 2021, and it goes all the way down to, this quickly, Thanksgiving, November 22nd, 1990. I am missing December 25th of 1990. I'll have to go back and investigate why. But for right now, let's go ahead and get this data into a usable format. I've separated each column with a hyphen. Okay, and I'll show you why I did that. So let's copy this. Launch your handy dandy Excel or Microsoft, Google Sheets, whatever, or Microsoft Excel product, or any type of a spreadsheet. Google Sheets will work as well. Because the only thing we're going to do is we're going to manipulate this data. And I'm going to have Excel create the actual EasyLanguage that will be putting into the function. So I've created a blank workbook with a blank worksheet. Now I'm going to go ahead and paste my data into column A. And as you can tell, column A contains both the data I need, the name of the holiday and the date of the holiday. So I'm going to go ahead and separate that into 2 columns. And to do that, you go into text to columns, go to your data tab, very powerful tab. If you can learn something about this tab, it is well worth the effort. I'm going to go ahead and do text to columns. And I'm going to split this 1 column into 2. I delimited the columns with the hyphen. So I'm going to go next, and I'm going to do other, and it's a hyphen. And I'm going to turn the tab off. I'm going to hit next, and I'm going to see it put all the names of the holidays in 1 column, and it's going to put the dates in a 2nd column. And I'm just going to keep these general for right now. Let's see if it did what I wanted it to do. Okay. Now this put the name and it worked. This put the name of the holiday in column A and the date in column B. Excel doesn't know if this is a date. It just thinks it's a string. So what we've got to do is we've got to convert this first to a format that EasyLanguage would recognize, and also Excel will recognize, so I can do some manipulations with it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. The power of Excel and its text to columns is going to be shown right here. I'm going to go ahead and do a text to columns, but hey, it's already in a column. What am I doing? The reason I'm doing this is I want to change the format of this. So I'm going to text to columns. It doesn't matter if you hit delimited or fixed width because we're only dealing with 1 column. So I'm going to hit next. Let's do fixed width, because if I did delimited, I'd say comma, it might interpret that comma in the date as a separator, a column separator. Let's not do that. Fixed width. Let's throw the fixed width way out here. Next. Now that's going to be a date. So I'm going to go year, month. I'm going to go month, day, year, because it is in month, day, year format. Month, day, year format. So I'm going to hit finish. Okay, now this is a date that Excel recognizes. It is still not a date that EasyLanguage will recognize. So let's go ahead and format this date. we're going to customize it, and I want it to be in a century, year, month, day format. So we're going to go ahead and change that to a date, and we're going to customize it, and we're going to do okay. And that is definitely in a format that TradeStation can work with. We'll have to do another layer of manipulation in the function because, as you know, TradeStation doesn't use a century, two-digit century, it uses a one-digit century. This is what I want the EasyLanguage to look like. I want to have two arrays. I want to have the holiday name. I went ahead and dimensioned it 300 because I think there's 287 rows here. It's going to be a string. I want the holiday date, again 287. So for every holiday name, there should be a holiday date. I'm going to set that equal to 0. And I want the holiday name 1 to be the oldest date in the database. And then I want the name of that Thanksgiving associated with that date there. So that's what my objective is. And I'm going to use Excel to build this string here using the data that we have in our spreadsheet. So let's insert some columns that we can use to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and insert one. Let's see. I'm going to have the holiday name left brackets. So that's column 1. And then I need a number here. And that number I need Excel to increment for me. Okay? So let's see how we can do that. So in this first column, we need that holiday name left bracket. Let's go ahead and put it insert there. Let's go ahead and insert another column. This is going to be equal to 1. And I need that to increment. So let's just make an increment right here, plus 1. So that'll be 2. And I want to sort this the other way because I want the oldest date to be element 1. So let's sort this because this is the latest information here. Let's sort this data on column C. I'm sorry, column D. And we're going to do it in oldest to newest. Okay, there we go. So there we go. New Year's Day 1990-01. Okay, that worked out perfect. Okay. The first holiday in our database is going to be New Year's Day, and that's going to be 1990-01-01. Okay, so I've got the holiday name. Let's look at what we need here. Holiday name with the left bracket. I've got the number that I need. I need the right bracket. So let's go ahead and insert here. We're going to put the right bracket, and we need the equal sign as well. Right? We need holiday name, left bracket, the number of the element, right bracket, equal sign, and we want that to be equal to Thanksgiving. So what we also need is we need the quotation mark, right? And then, since we're only dealing with the holiday name here, let's go ahead and hit enter. Let's insert this. We need another column. This seems like it's redundant or might be overwhelming, but once you get this syntax down, it's quite easy. I could fly through this if I wasn't doing the video. So I got the end quotation, and then I'm going to do the semicolon. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to do a copy fill. I want to copy this down. Okay, let's do all this. Let's fill this down here, all the way down. And then I'm going to go back up here. We'll do this relatively quick here. I'm just going to pause it real quick and get some of this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use Excel's concatenation capability to put these strings together into an actual EasyLanguage statement. So I'm going to put a another column here. It's going to be the destination column. But the concatenation function in Excel only works with strings. That's a string, that's a string, and that's a string, and that's a string. But this is not a string. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and copy this because it's a formula. Let's copy it. Let's paste it back. Paste special as values. Okay. And now let's use our powerful text to columns. Fixed width. What we're going to do is we're going to do this as text. Instead of general, we're just going to do text. So it will convert that from a number to a text. Go hit finish. And as you can tell, it is a text because it moves all text to the left side of the column. So now let's go ahead and go to the very top. Always got to remember to do that. Let's go to the very top and let's use the concatenate. Concat. And I'm just going to do all this together. Let's see what that looks like. Did that do the same syntax as what we're looking for? Let's double check it. Let's copy it. I'm going to paste it in my notepad just to see what it looks like. Oh, that looks really good. It's got the holiday name with the subscript and the name of the holiday. Okay, so that's good. Now all we've got to do is we've got to do the same thing. It's going to be a little bit slightly more complicated, but not very much, with the date. Following the same protocol with the, let's go ahead and do a fill down real quick here. With the holiday name array, let's go ahead and, oh, that looks really good, but something doesn't look exactly right. I see the problem here. Bear with me one second. It looks like I've got the twos are repeating, so let me fix that real quick. I mean, it's doing 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, so it didn't do the fill down like I thought. Hold on one second. Okay, back with you. I fixed that little glitch that we had with the index of the arrays. So now we've got all the holiday name. Let's go ahead and copy this column just to have it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it into another spreadsheet. Paste special. Sorry about that. I don't know why it did that. Values. So go boom. Okay. So there is the syntax for our holiday name array and the actual dates in those arrays, names in those arrays. So let's go back over to and work on this. We need 3 columns prior to the element value of the array. So I'm going to go ahead and insert 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to bear with me for a second. That looks like it's still a number. Let's just do that real quick. Fix that as a text. Sorry about that. So we got that back. Okay, we might be able to reuse that. I may or may not. Let's see if we can. So I want this to be holiday date, right column, left bracket. I'm sorry, left square bracket, and then let's go ahead and just copy this. It'll make it easier with the formulas when we do the concatenation. Let's paste this down here like so. Okay. We need one more column. It didn't do what I wanted it, and I want this to be equals. This is going to be a number, and then I want this to be simply a, okay, holiday date. So let's go ahead and copy all this down. There's no use in you watching me do that. Hold on one second. Okay, I've done the fill down on the holiday date. I did the fill down on the right bracket equal, and I did a fill down on the semicolon. But I forgot one thing. This is not a string. This is actually a date in Excel, so we need to convert that to a string. Now, if I did text to columns, it would create some weird format. It would convert it to a string, but it would have slashes or dashes or something into it. So what I need to do is go ahead and let's insert another column, and I need to use the built-in function, Excel function called text. And you can look this up, but basically you can tell it, okay, I want this number to be a text or a string, and I want to use a different format. So I'm going to use year, year, month, day, day format. Let's see what that does. See if that does it. Okay, there's text. So that's what I need right there. So let me go ahead and do a fill down. And that is a string. As you could tell, it moved it to the left side of the column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it as special. I don't want it to have the formula. You always got to be wary of that when you're copying and pasting. Are you pasting a value or a formula? So we're going to paste the values. Do that, and then I'm going to delete this column because I don't need it right now. I don't need it anymore. I've got the string representation. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Let's concatenate. I think we got we have all the elements to create an actual EasyLanguage statement here. So let's go ahead and concat. It combines all the strings together. String, string 1, string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, string 5. Holiday date 1, 1990, 0101. It should be New Year's Day. And it is. So we have that right. So let's go ahead and do a fill down. Let's copy that column. Let's go to our second spreadsheet, and let's put that in column B. Oop. Paste special. Always remember that, guys. Paste special. I did the formulas, so let's go values. Boom. Okay. So now we have two, hopefully, syntactically correct array, and for each line of EasyLanguage, we have the assignment of the array holiday name, and then we have the assignment of the holiday date. So let's copy both these. Let's go to our EasyLanguage editor. Bear with me one second. Let's kill that. We don't need that anymore. And let's pull the Excel up so I can actually reach my editor. We're going to create a new function. File, new function. We're going to call this IsHoliday. IsHoliday. It's going to return a Boolean because we want either true or false. So we're going to go OK. I'm going to go ahead and paste the data. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in, I've got the, let me pull the array declarations from my notepad. It's always good to do this in a notepad and then pull it into EasyLanguage. You could have, of course, done it in EasyLanguage to start with if you wanted to. I'm going to paste it. And then I've got to, it looks like everything looks good there. As you know, with EasyLanguage functions, you have to have a return for the name of the function. So IsHoliday, turned green, that's good, is equal to, right now we're just going to do true. Because in this tutorial, I'm not going to show you how to actually finish this function. This, of course, the completed function will be free, of course. But I just want to show you how you can create the functions and use data from the website, incorporating not only Python, but Excel to create the actual language, which is kind of neat. So let's see if this compiles. And it did compile. Okay, so that's it. This was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, 24 minutes. But it gives you an idea of what you can use to help overcome some of the limitations of EasyLanguage. You can use helper programs such as Excel and also helper languages such as Python to get the job done. In my next video, I will finalize, and it may not be a video, I might just do a post that finalizes this function. Thank you.